Hello, everyone. My name is Michael DeAndrea, and I'm the president of the Social Justice Creations website and Facebook. I also have been in the mental health professions for more than 35 years, involved in a number of roles and functions, working to stimulate social justice advocacy concepts in the American Counseling and the American Psychological Association, and at the present time, interested in working with other people to deal with two important issues and challenges we face. The first is to deal with the idea of reconciliation strategies and skills. You know, in the 35 plus years that I have worked in the mental health professions, it has been a great deal of pride to observe colleagues working tirelessly to not only work with clients in individual and family and couples and group therapy sessions to resolve conflicts between persons in those settings, but also to look at ways in which the reconciliation theories, research findings, and techniques used in our professional clinical practices result in very positive outcomes. At the same time, I've noticed over more than 3 decades, there are frequent occasions when individuals express conflictual thoughts and feelings towards other colleagues in the field because of differences in their values and perspectives and ways of constructing meaning of reality as it exists. And this oftentimes leads to accusations or less than respectful interactions on entities like the listservs that we're a part of. So while we do such a good job working to resolve conflicts and helping individuals in our clinical settings and our prevention intervention acquire the knowledge and skills necessary to reconcile differences within families, within communities, within workplaces, we do have work to do to implement similar reconciliation strategies in order for us to come to mutual agreement in respectful ways. A couple of things stand out for me about reconciliation processes, and one is you can't force anyone to be in a reconciliation process. And reconciliation can only occur when two people or several people or two or more groups believe and are committed to the proposition that we can find common ground regardless of the conflicts that we're experiencing, and move to a higher level of respect and provide solutions within ourselves and in our interpersonal interactions with colleagues and other people in our communities. The second challenge that we're facing is not only reconciliation within our own profession, but to look at ways of dealing with this unprecedented phenomena in the election of President Donald Trump, whose policies and procedures as outlined throughout his campaign has caused a great deal of support for people who hold the values and beliefs that were expressed throughout his campaign. And as we can see now, it also results in public protests and ongoing discussions in listservs and in news broadcasts about the conflicts that are being generated between people and a Donald Trump presidential administration. So I fully embrace, as many of you do, the adage that says, if we're not part of the solution to problems, then we really must be part of the problems that we're facing. And so with that in mind, and as president of the Social Justice Creations website and Facebook, I have taken time and energy with other members of the American Counseling Association and the American Psychological Association, as well as just concerned citizens, to organize and coordinate a series of electronic town hall meetings that are free of charge. The purpose of these town hall meetings are unique in the sense that we're not only calling upon counselor educators and practitioners and supervisors and students and other allied professionals to come together to look at ways that, one, we can discuss what reconciliation looks like within the profession and how can we achieve a greater level of reconciliation amongst us, especially at this critical time where we're approaching the crossroads in our society and political institutions. The second purpose of the electronic town hall meetings is to carefully review materials that will be sent out in another post that contain the policies and procedures and directions that President-elect Donald Trump has outlined to achieve in the first 100 days of his administrations. We want to look at ways that individuals find a supportive attitude. For instance, one of the areas that I am somewhat supportive of is the idea of dealing with this very tragic trade policy, including NAFTA and possibly the approval of the Pacific Partnership treaty that we're looking at, which has had a devastating impact on manufacturing jobs across our nation, being transferred as jobs that are low pay, without the right to organize, as well as not providing benefits for health care in nations that continue to implement social injustices in their labor force, while we lose the jobs and have turned many cities, like my own hometown of Bridgeport, Connecticut, into a state of poverty that has been unprecedented. So I really do like the idea. I want to see how President Trump is going to approach this whole issue and bring back manufacturing jobs into our own economy. At the same time, we want to look at those aspects of the agenda for the first 100 days of the Trump presidency that we have concerns about and are not supportive of. And in addition to looking at and focusing in on specific real issues and policies promoted by the Trump administration, we want to talk about ways that we can do 5% more on one thing in our local communities, in our state, and in cohesion with national projects. We, again, are not asking for people to think about forfeiting their professional time, their time with their families, their time for their own exercise, but to look at extending a commitment on 5% more on one thing. The first in the series of electronic town hall meetings will be this upcoming Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, November 22nd, 2016. You know, it's always useful to access by using the link that will be provided with this video, a little bit early to see if your computer is configured in such a way that complements the Adobe Connect meeting system that we are working from. So please try to get in a little bit earlier to see if things work out for you. Also, please feel free to share this and other past videos with friends, with colleagues, with groups, with religious communities that you may be a part of, in order to invite persons who are of conservative in their political beliefs, conservative Christians, atheists, agnostics, Christians, Muslims, persons of Jewish ancestry, the whole gamut of people who are interested in learning about reconciliation, but also spending time focusing in on the agenda for the first 100 days. In what ways can we support any part of the agenda that people think we can? In what ways can we organize and connect in our local communities, our state, at the national level to try to deal with the conflicts we have with many of the agenda items in the first 100 days of Trump's presidency? We will provide resources in future posts to this listserv. And finally, I want to thank, on a personal note, several people who have contacted me with such kind words and suggestions about rehabilitation as I have my surgery first on the left knee with a total knee replacement on December 16th, and if everything goes right, following up in 30 days with a total knee replacement on my right knee. I'm really looking forward to this because I believe that I'm going to reduce the pain I'm experiencing 24/7. And with your kind words, I'm inspired to make sure that outcome of the surgery occurs. Thank you so much for the personal notes that you've sent. As I end most videos on, is to demonstrate a commitment to you through a spiritual tradition that I'm a part of. It comes from a Buddhist community that chants twice a day using the following Japanese words, which can be translated into I devote my life to the mystic law of cause and effect through sound. So please bear with me while I chant 3 times for you and your loved ones for happiness and good health and for success in our nation and our endeavors in these free electronic meetings. Nam-myoho Renge Kyo, Nam-myoho Renge Kyo, Nam-myoho Renge Kyo. Thank you for taking time to consider the content of this video, and we hope to see you on Tuesday, November 22nd at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thanks again, and have a great weekend.